Alrighty, alrighty. It's that time again. To sit here and hope that something actually worth trading comes up. I'll go ahead and take a look at the stocks from yesterday just to see how they performed. See if they held up or not. So AMEX somewhat holding up still. GLND. This one ended up just completely breaking down. So this one actually surprises me a bit, considering this was the one that had all this chaos here, where you had the fake flush and then a rally back. The fact that it did end up eventually selling off is a bit surprising to me. I didn't expect that. CYPH sold off. SGML. Kind of crazy movement, but it actually did mostly hold up. Today we're having OLMA. And yeah, it's kind of just a very slow grind up all morning. Honestly, I don't really know if I would want to touch it around here. It's quite extended at the moment. And I'm just, if I can go ahead and check the daily here. Right, we have a daily high at around 11. So if we see a absolutely insane pullback to like 11, I mean, there's no way it does that. But if it did do it, I would be probably a buyer around maybe 11.50 or 12, anticipating this bounce. But that's, I mean, it's just so extended right now. What is this up? I mean, it's only up 100%, but to be fair, it's a higher price stock already. This one's probably out of play. I'll still keep it on a watch list just because I'm curious how it's going to do. What was the news? So it was earnings. Yeah, honestly, not really that interested in this. Feel like I've missed the move on it. CANF. It's a bit cheap for me. Actually, let me do something real quick here. I'm gonna go ahead and turn off the screen display capture for a moment. I'm gonna just pull up Webull so I have the Webull chart to use. Just give me 1 sec. Just so I can replace it here. Alright, we should be good there. Alright, cool. Just didn't want my Webull stuff getting shown. Alright. OLA. Wow. So this thing actually just completely rallied back. Very crazy move. So we went from 18 to 21.50 in just a matter of like 30 seconds. CNF is taking off, can't short it, or can't pull chart because my software is down. It's a penny, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it's too cheap for me. I know AMIX moved yesterday, but I'm not super interested in it. Like, it's not completely dead immediately, but this isn't the greatest. I mean, OLA, I'm really impressed how this is moving. There's a lot of action behind it. You had a pretty clean pullback here on the 15 second. Having another micro pullback. So yeah, this thing's just kind of surging. It's really tempting just to want to chase this. But it's like it's so extended. I mean, even just on the 1 or 5 minute, this thing's gone straight up. I feel like almost anything I buy here would just be chasing. What are these moves to? 22 to 23, 80. So even just these moves are about $1.50 to $2 moves. But on the flip side, I could totally see this rejecting hard here, and we just drop down to like 20 or something. Could totally see it. Uh, 23 is getting tested quite heavily, but it's held till just now. A lot of focus around the 23 level. I mean, for me, I just can't touch this here. I could take like 1/8 size and I would probably be okay. But it just feels like it's gone straight up. Bit of a breakdown here. Volume was kind of light on it, though. Definitely mind games going on at this 23 level. Currently up 164% on a higher price stock at that. Amex did have some volume flowing into it here just now. It's not really moving too much, but there was a spike of volume. Yeah, to me it feels like a coin flip if we're going to see this thing go higher or not. And I feel like whenever it does something, it's going to be very explosive. Curious how the VWAP looks on this, if I can see it. It's not even showing it. Whatever. But yeah, after such an explosive move, to see this suddenly just go flat. I don't know. It still feels like it's a 50-50 to me. I could totally see this just being consolidation before the next leg. But I could also see this just completely roll over. So we've been kind of stair-stepping down here. Gone down a little over $1. To be fair, this isn't what I expected either. I expected a large knife up or down. I didn't. We're just kind of seeing this slow bleed. This isn't really what I expected. Especially after something so violent like this, just to see it just casually bleeding down. CANF is holding up pretty well. Right, it's holding around the 2/3 mark. Okay, a little bit of volume coming through here. Down about $2.20 from this $23 level. Could have tried to trade this front side, but I mean, the thing's already up 100%. I just didn't even think it was going to make another continuation. Maybe the volume could have been proof, but I just don't actually think it's that great of an opportunity. It's getting some very significant volume coming through here on the move back up, too. This could have been a false breakdown. Be kind of crazy if it was, because that would mean it'd be a $2.20 false breakdown. We're actually seeing similar volume to this spike here, this volume. It's actually a little bit higher. Could signal that this is actually real volume coming in. All right, on the 5-minute, we've got this 5-minute high at around 2280. So that would be the place to watch for the 5-minute high. GNPX is kind of moving. Volume's kind of light, though. Yeah, volume's too light. All right, we did have news. You saw kind of like it pop up a little bit on it. Yeah, this is, I mean, this is just too light. I can't really mess with this. Yeah, at this rate, I'm probably just waiting for the half hour. There does definitely feel like there could be something here for LMA, just because of the fact we saw these spikes up on higher volume. It could be just the case that someone's getting squeezed out of this, and they're trying to hold out, but I don't know. Time to short Cloudflare. Yep. What does this 3-year look like? Even the 3-year, you kind of have this resistance level around 1685. So like 17 to 18, there's at least a level. So you could watch for it to return to this 18 level for a bounce. So if you saw a breakdown to there, that could be a bounce attempt. My only fear is because this thing is extremely extended right now. I'm really afraid to even buy any kind of falling knife, because this thing is just so incredibly extended. They're very cheap. Yeah. I mean, when I look at this, I think someone's getting squeezed. Like, that's what I think when I see this kind of action. So the reason I'm, like, still 50-50, because even though it's so extended, I still believe that this catalyst, because it was an earnings call, if the earnings was good enough, there could have been people that were short that are still getting squeezed out right now. This could be what this was. So, like, in my head, I'm thinking this is still extended. It hasn't completely rolled over. It's possible there's still someone short here who was trying to hold out. So I'm still 50-50 if this thing's done or not. But the problem is, it's like, once you get so high, it's like, if you're wrong, you could lose like $3 a share in a sudden rug pull. It's totally possible. Maybe $3 a share might be a bit extreme. Maybe like $1 or $1.50 a share in a rug. But yeah, I just don't really feel like I want to give this thing a chance. It's worth noting, too, that the shares outstanding is a bit higher. Both Thinkorswim and Lightspeed are saying over 60 million. Shorted like $100 in the 21s. You don't trust it. It's never spiked this like this before. I mean, historically, has it? Yeah, I mean, we're talking about going from $8 to like 21. That's pretty insane. I mean, what was the news, right? Because this was a news catalyst, right? Wasn't it? I thought it was. So 32% year-over-year increase in revenue. Break-even earnings per share. 20 cents, 6 cents per share on an adjusted basis. I mean, maybe it's just the news was so good. That's the thing. It's like, true, it hasn't done this in the past, but if this was genuinely a breakthrough for the company, this price could be justified. Right? I tend to be a little more lenient in crazy moves whenever there's a news catalyst behind it. Because if the fundamentals truly did shift, it can make sense why this would do something that hasn't happened historically. The only problem is I don't really know enough about this company to interpret if this was that crazy of a catalyst. Because this doesn't compare it. No, wait, no. This is GER. Why is GER showing up for this? Is GER moving just out of curiosity? Kind of. Well, then why is Olama moving? Is there no news on this? This thing just went up this much for no clear reason? Because they've reported financials on November 10th. So they did that like over a week ago. Just looking at other filings. Yeah, they haven't done any other major news releases. So, as far as I can tell, I don't actually see a catalyst behind this. Good morning, Quantex. Good morning. Yeah, the lack of a news catalyst makes me a lot less confident in this move now. Yeah. Yeah, they had. Yeah, I'm not seeing, like, I looked on SEC BAM, or BAM SEC, and they don't seem to have any press releases or any kind of SEC news they've reported recently. Late stage trial. I mean, if they put out news, I don't see it. Let me look on their website. Yeah, they're on their website. Their latest news release was their earnings report. I don't see anything. I mean, it's possible if they're in late stage trials for something, maybe something went well and there's an insider that knows something. I guess that could be possible. But yeah, no, I don't see anything. No news. And for something that's a higher float stock to be moving this much is actually kind of surprising to me for no news. Like, I could see a short squeeze maybe going to like 12 or 14. This is kind of a crazy move for no news on a higher float. Very interesting. Yeah, good luck with your short. I mean, knowing there's no news, I'm a little more bearish now. But yeah, I'm just going to wait for the half hour and see if we get anything here, because I don't really want to mess with this. I suppose at the very least, since this is holding up going into the half hour, if we see other news come out, that may spark people to jump in more. So it could be worth being slightly more aggressive on the half hour if we see news. Nothing else moving either. Yeah, there's nothing else. I mean, CANF, I just want to touch on this real quick. This one is actually like holding up decently. It's a penny stock, so I'm not interested, but this is holding up pretty well. If someone likes trading penny stocks here, this definitely doesn't look terrible. It's somewhat holding up. Maybe not the most bullish setup, but yeah. Yeah, it's pre-market, yeah? Yes, pre-market. Before the rest of the world wakes up, weird stuff happens. It would be fun to watch with my $100 on the line. Yeah. Rush boosts Olama as breast cancer therapy succeeds in late stage. Look this. You're right, there is news on this. Yeah, it's just not reported on their website. Yeah, this does have news. Yeah, they didn't put it on their website, and my news outlet isn't capturing it. So, for whatever reason, they're not putting this news out. But yeah, this does have a news catalyst. Okay, that does change things then. Yeah. %, institutional ownership. Yeah, that's typical. I find it very interesting that, I mean, half the time you're just trying to spam your news catalyst on every possible outlet to get information. If it's really that strong of a news catalyst, why wouldn't they show it on their website? Why wouldn't they be spam posting this to all of the major news outlets? Like, or the major, like, reporting outlets? Very strange. And it's like a really powerful one, too. So you'd think this would be one they'd really want out there. This whole thing just seems weird. Like it's intentional. But yeah, good catch on finding that. Yeah, we made these new highs and just immediately came back down after that. Right, because it was like really struggling here for a while. So the fact that we broke it so cleanly and then just came back, I don't know. INM looks like it might be doing something. We're actually some decent volume. Okay. No news though. I believe this is a super low float. Yeah, like 2 million. No news though. What are we looking like on the daily? You have resistance around 190. I suppose it could be a short squeeze, but just the lack of a news catalyst makes me a bit iffy. So the major volume came through on this break of 2. More volume coming through. 100,000 relative to a 2 million shares outstanding. It's decent. It's decent. I don't know if this really screams short squeeze, though, because that's really the only thing that makes sense here. Low float, no news. The only thing that would justify this is a short squeeze. And I was looking at the daily, because that's why I was looking at it. The daily, it is a little bit suppressed, but, like, it's not anything crazy. Although, historically, this actually does have spikes. So this is a stock that makes moves. Okay, so, like, hold on, am I just, like, not getting news or something then? You're saying there's news on this too, and I'm just missing it? Yeah, 'cause I have no news on it. Okay. It's just a drug trial, though, which isn't a huge deal. Yeah, that's concerning. So that's 2 for 2 now. That the news hasn't come in here for me. Seeing some volume coming through. 20,000 share seller at 170. Yeah, I was half tempted to maybe try and buy on this spike down, but volume was quite high. Plus, at the time, it was at around 169, 170. There was a 20, like 23, 27,000 share seller there. So to me, trying to buy that knife just felt too dangerous. It looks like it would have maybe worked, because I could have got like 8 or 9 cents per share from it, but I don't know, it just feels like picking up pennies in front of a steamroller. OLMA is still just kind of grinding higher here. Had another leg up. I'd like to point out we've had 4 stocks in play, and the only one that's really worked was OLMA. The other 3 appear to have just rolled over, right? So if I show GNPX, this one appears to have rolled over. We got CNF. This one, I mean, it didn't really make a return to high, and it looks like it might be rolling over. I wouldn't call it dead yet, but it's on its back leg. See, it doesn't look like we've had a lot of great opportunity. Right, I mean, C and F, this one was a penny stock. So, yeah. $5 in the red. Short 21 and we passed 26. Nuts. Yeah, no, it's I mean, the fact that there's news makes me a little less surprised. If there was no news and it did that, I would be on board with you. But I have just seen news catalysts drive things so high before to where if it's news catalyst driven, I'm not as shocked by anything. But I still do agree that it seems kind of crazy that it moved this much. But sometimes that's just the reality with news catalysts. It's my take anyway. I'm too much of a baby to try shorting something like this. Yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait till 8. I don't see anything. What is it? INM. Looks like we're... Oof. Jeez. INM just dying. Similar sell-off volume to this sell-off. Tells me that there's someone unloading a lot right now. If we broke into 140s and volume is lighter, I might try for a dead cat bounce, but it's got a little ways to go to get there yet. This is starting to look like a dead cat bounce opportunity, though. The news catalyst seemed neutral, but since the volume is still very high on the selling pressure, I'm inclined to wait for it to break 150. Yeah, the high float is what is really surprising me with LMA. That's what's really surprising me. Looks like it could have had a false second peak here. That's kind of a nasty rejection on the second high. What was that drop? About a buck 30 or so. Hmm. Just gotta be patient. Ooh, very, very strong breakout here. You just added very brave. I wish you the best. I don't know. I don't know if I could do that. I've seen things. So I know how bad it can get. But I hope it works for you, man. New average is 2277. Hmm. Yeah, so you've got still quite a ways. I'll actually go ahead and just throw an order out here. If we do see a sudden flush down on INM, I'm gonna just throw 2 orders for 100 shares out. Just in case it does flush, because it looks like it might. Right, if we see a similar repeat, it wouldn't surprise me to see a flush down to low 140s. As soon as we get a big pullback, I'll reduce size for a small loss. My average. I don't know. I just don't like averaging into losers. Like, there's a few exceptions. If you truly do have low size, maybe it's okay for you to have done that. I personally wouldn't trade like that. I know in the past I've been burned trading that way, so I tend to only add if I'm averaging into a winner, or if it was pre-planned that I was going to average into a loser. Like, for example, this, I have 2 where I would get filled at 144, and if the price continued down, I would get a lower average. But this is pre-planned, because I literally have the orders already out. So it's a little bit different. Actually, gonna pivot this down a little bit. But yeah, good morning to everyone here. If you're new here and you like what you see here, please leave a like. It'll help me out, help me expand and get this channel out to more people. If you like the content I'm putting out, maybe consider subscribing. I do stream every day from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. EST. So yeah, I mean, right now it's pretty slow, but hopefully it'll heat back up at some point so we can actually see some relatively decent trades. Justin says, proud of myself. Observed the level 2 on OLMA and identified support trend with heavy buyers at 25.10 out of 26.15. Good stuff. I mean, I've been wanting, like, I'm feeling the FOMO on OLMA, right? It's been just going straight up for, well, not straight up, but it's been on a strong uptrend, and I've been sitting it out. And mainly just because it's so extended. In my head, like, I just know if I buy and this thing pulls back, my immediate thought is going to be this thing could come the whole way back down. And that kind of psychologically messes with me. So that's probably the main reason I haven't been touching this. It just feels so extended to me. Decreasing volume on candles moving up on 5-minute. So I'd say clear for now. Well, and the thing is too, as the price gets higher, there's going to be less volume, right? Because people can't buy as much. So the decreasing volume isn't necessarily indicative that the move is out of steam. I mean, I would agree if the price was the same, but because the price has been increasing, right? The price has doubled from 14 to 28, and yet the volume has actually been slightly incrementing up from down in this period. So I get what you're saying, and I agree. I just like to point out that because the price is going up, there is an argument against what you're saying too. At this point, I'm just wondering if it's going to 30 because I did not expect it to get to 28. I genuinely thought when we were seeing this might have been the end of the move. I was genuinely under that impression. All right, well, I&M clearly bounced, so I'm taking my orders out. It bounced at around 150, at 152. I was hoping to see one last push down before a recovery attempt. Looks like it's just doing it now. But I still think buying here would have been a little bit too aggressive. Been noticing this a lot the last several trading sessions where I haven't been really getting many great opportunities the first hour. There's just been so little moving. I took 2 trades yesterday, a little after 7, but that was a little more forced because I wanted to come in swinging a bit harder, so I was willing to just engage with anything that was moving. Outside of that, I haven't really seen much. Okay, so OLMA looks like it might actually be pulling back. Still a bit unclear. All right, but if we see this pull back and stabilize, then you could start to see a head and shoulders forming. Out of the last three pullbacks, right, all three of these, this is the biggest pullback we've seen of this move. Outside of maybe this. Is it maybe the case that the short seller's now fully out, so the price is going to return low? Covered a little 25. I mean, you were pretty deep underwater at 28, so... In any case, I think covering here at least shows that you were able to capture some of this retracement for whatever it's worth. And looking like it might have been good to cover a little bit here, because it is somewhat bouncing. I don't know. I'm basically committed to just being an observer of this stock at this point, because I've stayed out of the skin of the game for so long already, and it's so extended now. I feel like anything I try to touch on this at this point would just be chasing. Kind of a similar thing happened with GLTO, right? That thing went up like 1,000% or something crazy. More than this, but yeah, I didn't really want to get involved with that one either. So I missed out on a lot of that move. Yeah, the pullback was within norms. I'm just saying that relative to this latest move that it did, this was a bit more of a overcorrection, similar to this one, right? This is very reminiscent of this pullback, I think. In my eyes, this could have been the start of the shift, and it still might be. What a crazy uptrend. Right, and this actually wasn't even, like, this was like a continuation of this. Yeah, it only started to accelerate once it was already up like 80%. What are we currently sitting up on it anyway? A little over 200%. Yeah, we got 2 minutes till the top of the hour. We'll see if anything comes out. Still no trades for me. Retesting the highs, it looks like. Volume seems to be increasing. Crazy how much this thing is just going up constantly. Yeah, like it's so extended. It's so tempting too. Like I'm genuinely feeling FOMO to want to buy this thing. But I don't know. You been scalping it, John? Okay. Increasing volume on the 5-minute candle at 7:45 would have been a nice spot to observe the pullback, but I was too scared because of the price. Yeah, the price is so extremely extended. Right. What we're up like, I mean, I think probably near the high, we probably were up around almost 300%. Okay, I got something here on the scanners. Take a look at it. NYNZ. Let's see what we got. Some okay volume. Okay, pretty mid agreement. What are we looking for with float? Float's pretty low. Pretty mid news catalyst though. Volume was quite high on this pullback. Looks to me like this might just be rolling over. Not sure though. Seems like there's something going on around 137. Lightspeed is down too. Widespread Cloudflare outage. Okay, so Warrior trading Lightspeed. And I think Flip Flop said his thing was down too. So that's just lovely. I mean, anything that uses Cloudflare would be down, I suppose. You know, I'm curious because we've had 2 instances where I haven't been getting data. Do you think maybe because Cloudflare was down, whatever source I was supposed to be getting my data from, maybe that was down? That could be why I've had 2 instances today where the news wasn't there. That could explain that. Because I find it kind of strange that 2 times in a row, the data was just not reported. The news catalyst, I mean. GDTC is moving. Okay, we got volume starting to come through. There was news at 8. Acquisition completed. Not super crazy news. Yeah, it looks like we got 11 million shares. Both Thinkorswim and Lightspeed are saying the same thing. So probably around 11 million. Honestly, this volume's a little bit low for that. Historically, we do see some spikes, though. Recent spikes. A bit of a spread, too. Good morning, Gavin. Good morning, good morning. It's interesting how much you learn from a community of like-minded individuals. Really love this channel. It's so, I mean, I definitely think this is educational, what we're seeing. I feel it sucks that I haven't taken a single trade today, but you got to understand a lot of these setups have just been crap. Like this thing's up 11%. Yeah, I've taken no trades. I had one INM. I had some orders out, but the price didn't do what I wanted it to do. So it didn't do what I wanted it to do. So I ended up just canceling them. Yeah, I've been watching several stocks, but just nothing has been looking good to me. Yeah. Yeah, hey, if you guys like the content, please do hit the like button. It helps me out. You guys have been doing great already. I see we're at 6 likes, which is awesome. Wonder if we should set goals, like try to get to 10 likes. That might be too ambitious. I don't think I've actually hit 10 likes. I think the most I hit was like 9 or something. 8 or 9. It's been dead for much longer than last week, in my opinion. I believe it's been dead for about 4.5 weeks now. We had some mixed things, like we had penny stocks that were a trend for a couple days. We had GLTO, which sparked the small cap surge for a couple days. But nothing has really been holding. We've just had like many themes in a sea of coldness. OLMA is still grinding higher. Insane to me that it's still going up. Swipe 32 and fall. We'll see if you're right, Gavin. Yeah, we had MOVE and GLTO on Monday, Tuesday last week. Yeah, that's like it. I think there was one other. I think one other stock did a decent move too. I can't remember the name though. But I think there was 3. But it wasn't as big as GLTO and MOV. Those two were much bigger. But yeah, this could be a no trade day for me. I mean, I'll see if anything comes up at 8:30, but I'm not really seeing anything I think is worth trying or giving me an edge. Right, because I'll take a trade if I think there's an edge to it. I'll take it. But I've just seen nothing. GDTC seemed like close to me, but didn't do quite what I wanted it to do. Oh, LMH. This thing is just, it just keeps going up. Yeah, LFS, I forgot about that one too. No, I don't think that's the one I was thinking of. But you're right, that one kind of went in like the afternoon, evening. He hasn't said he closed it, so I'm assuming he's still short right now. A bit worried. I mean, luckily he covered some back here at 25. I don't know how much. Probably like half. But he added here, and he said his like average was like... What did he say? I think he said it was like 22, so I think his average is around here. Unless he added again. Added at 35. I mean, dude, I hope it works out for you, man, but just... I've tried the average in approach. I mean, I hope it works for you, man, but just... I mean, I wouldn't do it. Yeah, it's so pricey now. Average 27.68. Hmm. Holy crap, we're at 13 likes. You guys are insane. I didn't even realize we just like completely crushed it. Yeah, I think that's like a PB for the channel, like for live streams. Yeah, thank you guys very much. I truly appreciate it. Added again by accident. Oh dear. Well, hopefully it goes in your favor. Yeah, I don't know what you're in right now, man, but it sounds to me like you're in, like, maybe 4x your initial size, if I had to guess. I mean, I'm all about the not financial advice thing, so... And you have your own strategy, you do. Just, you know, be reasonable. I cannot believe it's grinded this high. Even on the daily chart, it just looks... You would never expect this on the daily chart. Right? I mean, this thing's like trading between $2 and $11. For it to gap up this high, it's gonna literally gap up to like here. Like that's actually just insane that it's gonna gap this high. Like that's where it's currently like looking. Got your 5% from CANF. I am out. This market sucks. It does suck. It actually does suck, man. It's just got to get the base hit and stay break even. Yeah, I mean, I've taken... Honestly, I'm actually really happy with how I've been doing today. Just... I saw a couple stocks that I was interested in, and they didn't do what I wanted, so I just didn't trade them. And I'm pretty happy, even though I just haven't done anything. It's hurting my heart. I gotta stay strong. Don't touch, don't touch. Yeah. Yeah, that's... It do be that way. At this point, I'm probably waiting for the half hour, see if we got any news. OLMA, seeing a significant pullback, about $4. Is this finally the top? Are we finally seeing a peak? Do you think it's just the end of the year blues? No real news catalysts, and retailers aren't really sticking with anything, so I feel it's just a lot of just back and forth. So historically over the years, we actually tend to see the market heat up in October, November. So we are definitely in an anomaly year where these two months are feeling cold. So this isn't normal. I wouldn't really say it's the blues. There were people speculating it was because of the government shutdown, but that ended and we're still seeing it cold. So I don't think it's that. It's really hard to say. You are right, there's no clear news catalysts or kind of like themes. We've had a couple that tried to accelerate, but they just didn't do anything. Like the penny stocks and the small caps. But they didn't end up holding. They only resolved for a couple days, and then both of them faded out. Not getting any news on Day Trade Dash. Yeah, on my platform, I've had 2 stocks now where I haven't gotten the news today. Even though there was press releases for them, and my news should have populated, I haven't gotten them. So, honestly, for the rest of this day, if I see something move and I don't see news, I should keep an open mind that there could actually just be news on it. Covered some at 34.10. Wow. What a crazy move. I'm really paying for my 29.07 average. Yeah. The thing that sucks so much about averaging in is when you're wrong, you just get completely screwed. or I should say like averaging down or averaging into a loss. Like it's, I mean, I used to do it a couple years ago, maybe like 3 years ago. I tried doing that, but I just found that like I would get these super large losses when I did that. So I had to stop. Political uncertainty? I don't know. I genuinely don't know. For whatever reason, people are just not engaging. I don't really know if there's anything like politically that is different now over the year than over the last few years that would justify or be a contributing factor to why there's no momentum. I don't really feel like it's political. I hold from here unless she goes over 40. Oh god, don't say that. Why would you say that? They can hear you. They're gonna pump it to 40 now. Had a nail biter too. Went short at 34, covered break even. Yeah. ARVN is kind of moving. What is this? So I don't have any news coming up for me. I could accept that maybe there's news and I'm just not seeing it. But even so, with this price action, this is quite low volume. And the float's actually kind of high on this. 68 million. Yeah, I'm too worried that this is a rug setup where someone's buying this and pushing it up on low volume, and then they're getting attention here and just gonna dump. Doesn't look safe to me. Plus, no news, quote unquote, no news. There could actually be news that I'm just not seeing. Can't really trade much because my software's down, so I'm trading blind for the most part. I mean, if you don't have the software, maybe just don't trade would be a better approach. Just because to me, it's like, I mean, yeah, you can look at my screen or you could look at like TraderView or something, but if you don't have any data input from your software, like it's really hard. Like to me, I feel like I gotta see the chart, I gotta see the volume, and I gotta see the level too. Time and sales kind of, but not really. But I feel like if I don't have those, it's really hard for me to make a good decision unless I'm doing some kind of like longer term swing. Like if I was going to hold something for an hour, maybe I could do it, but I really feel like I would need this data feed to be able to day trade for a shorter term move. ARVN got a bit of a surge. Straight up to $1. I'm gonna adjust my size here. Yeah, it's hitting the scanners. No news that I can see. I did shrink my size, so if I do trade this, it's only going to be 1/4. This thing's quite volatile. Very big spread. We're seeing like a 20-30 cent spread. Okay, took a very small position here. Only 1/4 size. I'm cutting it there. Seems like there's some kind of resistance at 1487. Yes, on this breakdown, it was lighter volume, but then it seemed like there was resistance here. I tried to get a snipe entry there. Yeah, 1/4 size was totally justified here. Oh, it would have been so good to get a 1370 entry. That would have been so good. Now we're slingshotting back, maybe? 1487 was where there was resistance. APET, what scanner am I using? I'm using Thinkorswim custom scanners. I have two that are kind of configured for looking for momentum plays. Sorry for not answering. I'm involved with this. A lot of pressure at 14. All right, we're at the half-hour mark. We'll see if anything comes through. — So one loser for me so far. AM EST. Yeah, it's actually quite a spike. What is this? There's like, I'm not seeing news for it. It's frustrating. GLMD is also moving. Both of these moved yesterday. What is going on? No clear news for this one either. Gonna add here. I'm in 200. Okay, seeing a little bit of a bounce. We're seeing 120s. It's peaked up at around 121. Yeah, there was news that came out for this at 8:30. Meaningful, quote-unquote, top-line results. You have a good one, Quantix. Yeah, maybe I should like start putting the Discord in the chat too every now and then. All right, we're retesting 119, 120. Let's see, did we actually break it? Ooh. Okay, I sold half just because there's a large seller here. I don't want to fight that. No, I'm just cutting it. That's too big of a seller. I don't want to mess with that. Unfortunate. Yeah, there was like a 50,000 share seller here, and I saw it struggle for a second without reducing this. Curious to see how it's actually going to respond here. Let's see if that was the right call for me to bail or not. Oh, that's unfortunate. So we had a spike of around how much? It's around 400,000 volume. I mean, so there was a 50,000 share seller here I saw. People were buying into it, and now you have like a 38,000. Okay. So, small winner on that one. $5 winner. Could have been around a $20 winner if I held for the whole thing. But now seeing that big seller here, just I could have I mean, alternatively, I could have sold half because I was in 200. I could have sold half and kept the other half, but I mean, realistically, if I see such a big red flag, I don't really regret just getting out, I think. On the flip side, too, since we are in this colder market, me seeing a single major red flag, right, a seller right above a clear resistance, I think me seeing that and immediately bailing isn't a bad decision. If it was a hotter market, maybe that was a little impulsive, but in this colder market, I actually think maybe that was the correct call. So, sitting down, $2.22 at the moment. Basically break even. OLMA basically just went straight back down. 38 all the way down to 26. No, I mean, yeah, considering the market we're in, I don't think I'm actually doing that badly, considering how the market is at the moment. ONFO looks interesting. Secures up to 300 million in financing. Don't know how good that actually is. We've seen this catalyst rug pull pretty hard a few times in the past. Pretty big gap up to 83 cents up to 136. It's up 30% now, but it was up around like 70%. Yeah, I don't actually know if this is something worth going, even for a falling knife. It's a bit dangerous. I think I should probably avoid this one. This GeoMD is probably the best opportunity, from what I can tell. High relative volume, right? This is like only around 1 or 2 or so million shares. This thing's getting around 500,000 a minute. So, and considering this moved just yesterday too. What are we looking for resistance from yesterday? Like probably around 140, 147 maybe. Kind of interesting it rejected here. This isn't super obvious. Clear support around 116. Next is probably around like 111. Makes sense to me if you think about what everyone's averages are from yesterday. Yeah. Surely there's some people that YOLO'd and are holding and hoping. So the previous resistances supports from yesterday are likely still going to be relevant. Just debating if I want to get involved with this or not. This one did end up pulling away a good bit. Volume is lower than yesterday, though. ARVN looks like it's just kind of selling off. Not too surprised. So we're clearly holding around this level. 126 is like a clear resistance. There was something similar yesterday where price was really struggling to break this through this 132, 133 level. It might not be a surprise that it was struggling around that same level, because this was very clear resistance yesterday. Anyone that was here for this knows this. In fact, we ended up seeing a pretty massive rug on this stock into a recovery, so whoever was trading this yesterday was playing serious mind games. Hmm. Take 100 shares there at 107. During this flush, this volume was quite light. And yesterday we had something similar where it flushed down and bounced. Only going to do 100 shares though, but I'll be willing to hold this slightly longer. Hmm. A lot of chop around here. I still feel modestly confident that this could bounce. I'm not going to add though, I'm just going to keep 100. Probably targeting around 117. I can just throw the order out there so it's out there. All right, 117. That seems fair. Maybe 116 actually. We were 1 penny away. I just went ahead and moved it. Would have hit it too. Okay, so small winner on that one. Reason for buying on this spike down, we saw incredibly low volume. This told me that this entire move may have been an overreaction. Looks like it played out that way. It's actually a pretty good setup too. Okay, so we're slightly back into the green for the day. But, I mean, it's just so slow. It's hard to get any real edge right now for me. I'll be honest, it's been difficult. I'm just very risk adverse right now. I don't really want to expose myself very much. What was that? The third trade or my fourth trade? Yeah, I mean, 3 trades. And I mean, we're almost to the end of the session too. Let me go ahead and turn off the web capture for a moment. I want to go ahead and pull up. I want to go ahead and pull up here. Which one is it? Display. There we go. Yeah, I want to go ahead and pull up my Discord here real quick. So here, I'll go ahead and post this in the chat. So here is the Discord invite, if any of you have Discord and would like to join. I'm going to go ahead and return the screen now. There we go. So if anyone wants to join the Discord, you can do that. ONFO. Looks like it's selling off quite a bit. Actually pretty terrible sell-off too. 139 to 116. Volume isn't super high. Not great though. Both of these are on pretty high. Yeah, I don't know. I actually don't really know how much I trust this to bounce. There was clear commitment to sell here. Perhaps if we see extended selling and this volume shrinks, then maybe then it would be more realistic. But yeah, I don't think I'm really a buyer here. You got to keep in mind this catalyst too was financing, and a lot of times what they'll do is they will give the person the right to sell either immediately or in the very short term. And so people may want to push the price down and make it more difficult for that person to sell. I've seen that happen in the past. To be frank, I'm actually surprised that this rallied as much as it did. From like 104 up to 137. So we had very high volume on this consolidation. I just still don't like it for a bounce. I don't know. Doesn't seem clear to me. I mean, I didn't like it for a bounce when it was here, so potentially saved a 5-cent loss here. So probably if this would go straight to 1 and the volume is somewhat low, I think that would be the entry criteria for me. GLMD looks like it's curling. So we had it push up to 120. Kind of pulled back for a moment and then broke through 120. So this is doing something similar to what it did yesterday, where we had a sizable sell-off into just a complete reversal. Be crazy if it did the same thing again. I mean, the volume is flooding in. Highest volume on this High of day reversal candle. And JIMD is just very whipsawy. Doesn't seem very stable. I feel like price action lately has just been very unreliable. You just keep seeing these fake outs. Here we got 3 minutes till the top of the hour. And I will see if anything comes out. And then if I don't see anything, I'm going to scoop for the day. Yeah, my cushion for the day is extremely fragile too. So if I do take a trade, there's a chance I go red on the day. But I won't let that dissuade me. If I see an opportunity, I'll take it. My P&L result is not a factor to me. Before we hit the top of the hour, I will give one more call out here. If any of you are watching and are new to the stream, maybe consider subscribing. I do stream every day from 7 a.m. till 9 a.m. EST. So if you're interested in this and you like what I gave here, maybe consider subscribing. There's pitch done. Pitch done. With the Cloudflare issue, I may not be able to trade for the rest of the day. Grr. Oh well, nothing is 100% reliable. Yeah, I mean, if you don't have data, I feel like it's just really hard to trade. Like, you can't... I feel like your ability to make educated decisions would become impaired. I mean, it's up to you. If you feel confident you can, you know, it's entirely up to you. I would consider sitting it out. It's got me second guessing everything right now. So like if something starts popping on the scanners and I don't see news, I'm like second guessing myself. I'm like, oh, did this have a catalyst? I don't know. And then that kind of like messes with me because, you know, if there was a catalyst, right, then I would be a little more bullish on it. But if there's no catalyst, I'd be more bearish. But it's like the Cloudflare just adds that extra little confusion because, of course, it can't be easy. But all right, we got 9 o'clock. We will see if we have any news catalysts that come out. I'll give it around 4 or 5 minutes just to see if scanners pick anything up. OLMA gets under 22, it will be a winning trade. So we'll see if that happens. Slow and steady wins the race. So you're still shorted, huh? So you didn't fully cover. Fair enough. I mean, you're not too far off from that too, right? You're like $4 away. To be fair, it did pull back $8, right? 38 down to... Actually went more than that. Went down 12, and you just need 4 more. So, I mean, there's a chance you could get bailed out here. It is still quite extended on the daily as well. We'll see. GLMD is kind of curling a little bit. Right, we're kind of like retesting this high several times. Yeah, MD looks like it still has potential to do something, right? We are just in a big consolidation right now. But I'm probably not going to touch it anymore here. It's too late in the session. Yeah, I'm seeing nothing on the scanners, so I'm going to call it here. Pretty slow day today, honestly. I mean, only 3 trades, basically break even, not even anything too crazy as far as returns. I mean, what did we have? We had OLMA, the big mover. But, like, I just didn't touch this one. It's just so extended. Right, switch to the 5-minute. This thing's just gone completely bonkers up. I just don't know how I could realistically safely assess risk on this. Yeah, we had a couple instances where we were seeing, like, struggling pullbacks. And I didn't really feel like anything else gave great opportunity. The GLMD trade I took with the 200 shares was correct, right? I took 200 shares in this area, but when we broke this 1-minute high, we just saw a 50,000 share seller here, and that spooked me out. So I ended up bailing for just a small profit. Yeah. See you tomorrow. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, I mean, I'm just happy to have at least been green today. It feels like it was a difficult day. Just didn't see not much opportunity. But yeah, I'll go ahead and end it here. Thank you everybody for watching. I did leave the link in the description, or not the description, in the comments. So if you're interested in the Discord, check that out. And I will be back tomorrow. Take care.